Today we're going to be carrying on with our stream series of Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 as part of the, Striker pack collection for, I think, just about every major console available right now. Really excited to be diving back in here after quite some time. We played all of Dark Souls 2 in the, or across the past, couple of weeks. So it's been some time since I sat down with this game. That means expect plenty of, really, really easily avoidable deaths and failures, at least early on. So if you remember, last time around, I think in the course of one stream, we played through, well, except for, the introduction, we played through the anti-hero Copen's campaign, which was really, really strong. I dig his playstyle. I'd say considerably more than our man GV's. But today, we're going to be diving back into complete GV's campaign, because not only does it appear to have totally separate content for the most part, I get a distinct impression that completing both campaigns will unlock some kind of true ending or final stage for us. So, I'm kind of interested to see what iterations to GV's gameplay have been made here. See, it was kind of interesting the way they did this. We already saw all this on our last stream. There we go. It's kind of interesting the way they divide all this up, right? So, there are 7, Robot Master or Maverick XP bosses in this game, like the Zonda's Guardians. And I thought when I played through Copen's campaign, they start you off with 4 and maybe you get the other 3 after, a midway stage. Not actually the case. Instead, the way it works is you fight 4 bosses more or less specific to that hero's campaign, then across the I want to say it's the Eden stages, no, Eden is the, well, yes, Eden's the organization, but I'm trying to remember the name of their stronghold and can't. But, across the, endgame stages, as you're fighting through Zonda's, fortress, you'll run into the 3 bosses who you did not fight in, their specific, personal stage in that playthrough. So, for instance, in Copen's campaign, these 3 bosses, the, vampire bat girl that uses, claws made of blood to attack, the weird kind of Aquaman knockoff that we killed in about 30 seconds, and then the internet kid all appeared as endgame bosses and didn't show up really anywhere else in his campaign. We did not get to see their stages. Likewise, in this campaign, I have a feeling, well no, I assume we're not going to be seeing the weird, disco rapper with roller skates. What were the others? The goddess with the crazy drill hair, or the chef with the robot junk golems. And I know it sounds like I'm making all this up and it's the product of a fever dream, but that's just really how out there this game's design can get. I love it. It does look like, though, since Copen ran into GV and fought him as a mini-boss halfway through this stage, the Ice Knights stage. Tianjin, maybe? We will get to play through this stage, fight Copen as a mini-boss, and then fight the Guardian as we did in that campaign. So this stage is shared between the 2 campaigns. Everything else seems to be kind of distinct, if that makes sense. Going to check our loadout. I think it's much the same. We do have new, clips. I guess that will modify the number of tags we have active at a time, as opposed to that being always, inseparably linked to the weapon equipped, which is nice. And then we've got the same stuff that GV started the other game with. Is there anything we can synthesize? And can we synthesize? No, looks like, unfortunately, we do not get to maintain our inventory of, synth materials across campaigns or across playthroughs. That's a real shame. Plenty of challenges, none of which we've completed yet. Let's talk to Jewel real quick to increase the likelihood of getting Anthem to trigger if we absolutely need it. That's Jewel's song. I hear it sometimes in missions. Her desire to keep me safe prevents me from dying. It puts me back on my feet with enhanced abilities to boot. It's not perfect. She lacks full control of it. However, talking to her helps it trigger more often. So I should come here and chat her up whenever I can. Oh, time for more of my favorite stuff. Really creepy, like, uncomfortable interactions between these two. Oh wow, that's actually a fairly normal conversation. Yeah, this writing is fine. It's not quite as disturbing as many of their interactions were in the first game. So let's take a look at the Frozen City briefing, which is going to be different because we have a whole different cast here. Different, like, AI partner, different mission control, I think, like the Quill defectors here. I'm gonna be really interested to see how this game feels playing as GV after we have so much experience playing Copen. Who, I mean, they both control really, really nicely, I think. But even though I'm probably not going to end up being as good with him, I think I prefer Copen's playstyle. It's very aggressive, it's about, like, throwing yourself into enemies to tag them, then just letting loose with ridiculously powerful, like, special moves. One after the other after the other. It's a very active playstyle. GV's, I think, is a lot safer, probably, but it's also way more passive. It's about tagging enemies and wearing them down with the same special move that effectively tracks them. Copen's got, like, an electro field analog, but his is just about 3 times as powerful. Alright, let's strike. Icebound. Soldiers driven by revenge above all. Yet vengeance provides only momentary respite from rage. Let such be a warning for them and your former self. Okay, sure. Right, so we can't automatically air dash the same way Copen could. That's another thing. Copen, by default, has a way more adaptable dash mechanic. Oh, I forgot to equip our heal. It's been so long. Also, yeah, the, oh, geez, the, ice and spikes are... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We'll take it, though, sure. Trying to avoid taking hits, so we can, No, don't do it again, you... okay. So pressing the triangle button just activates one of those anyway, and it also seems to, like, save all of our score points every time we use a special ability, which is something. I mean, I'll take it. And yeah, GV's gonna have a much harder time in this stage than Copen did. What with his miraculous ability to just dash in more or less any direction and then hold steady afterwards. This is gonna come in extra handy for this character, at least until we get his air dash, if we get his air dash. I think these things were originally deployed by Copen's group, right, to assist him. So we're just bumming this off of him. Ow. Good old anti-skid coating. Oh, really? Lost all our score, of course. Ooh. Yeah, this is actually going to be much harder as GV. So we're entering the area after Copen did, right, I think? Which should track with what we saw in his storyline. And in fact, we should be running into him right here. So question, despite how he plays when we're at the helm, is he still going to be able to, shut down all of our powers with his pistol? I hope not. Looks like I'll have to fight him. Well, alright, let's do our best. Yeah, we're not gonna build up a lot of score here, which is, it's fine. Ooh, got way more aggressive there. Ultra move? No? And again, just all the plot we got there was a recitation, or repetition of the fact that Copen wants to kill all of the superpowered adepts for what another group did to exploit them. It's madness. Complete and total madness. It's like, hey, what if Mega Man X was like really, really xenophobic? Which is not an improvement, but he's an anti-hero, so I guess that's what we're going with. Can't worry about that now. I have to save the city. So that fight wasn't any harder than it was in Copen's campaign, surprisingly. Oh, it's gonna be much easier to get around those Walker's shields with GV, though, since you can lock on before they deploy the shield and then just let them have it, right? Oh, again, really? Okay, so I could be wrong. I could be misremembering things, but I believe you actually had to, like, flick the right stick to activate a skill normally. Yeah, there we go. Unassign the shortcut, because every time I accidentally grazed the triangle button, say on my way to the circle button we used to activate our electro field, it would just trigger that skill, wasting it essentially. Ah, those things become dangerous in frozen areas, right? So they're totally harmless when Tianjin hasn't frozen a given level. Okay, now that we're away from, like, all of the spikes, GV's actually having a slightly easier time. Good to see. Ambush? Yep. Alright, so it's just us against... Ooh, there we go. These things are kind of short range, if I recall. Ain't taking my score away. Okay, one more. I will do this in a very cowardly fashion. I have no qualms. Made it. Let's take our kudos and get the hell out of here. Let's see. Full heal. Are we almost to Tenjian? Ow. Ow. Definitely should have tagged that one more than once. Oh, guess we lost all our score somewhere along the way, maybe? Definitely gonna want to get a new clip as soon as we can. I quite enjoyed having the 5 tags active at a time that we did for most of the first game. Yeah, we can't break that quite yet. But that might be a Copen exclusive breakable. Alright, we're getting there, slowly but surely. This is much harder with GV because Copen could just do that dashing, or sorry, that upwards diagonal dash. Really? Well, Score, you were nice to have while you lasted. Okay, boss fight time. Now, we fought this guy with GV in the prologue, when he was much weaker. But we're gonna have to be careful, because if you recall, his ult features what can very easily be an instant kill. I am going to enjoy this, though. Much like Mega Man, like, say, X7 and X8, we get to see different protagonist interactions with the Robot Master stand-ins, depending on the campaign we're playing. So it gives us a bit more personality and context for these bosses. They're obviously, since they're like a group of adept supremacists, going to be way more gentle and accommodating, I would expect, or friendly at the very least, to GV than they were to Copen, who is an out-and-out, like, anti-adept racist. Alright, here we go. Again, other than that ult, I don't think there's a lot for us to seriously worry about here. Is this gonna be easier or harder as GV? I got no idea. Oop, well, we can't dodge that as easily. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna be taking way more hits as GV, just because Copen could maneuver so much more easily and quickly around these areas. Let me see. Dash. Seriously? The range on that, or I should say... Yeah, no, the range is so great. It's ridiculous. We got him, though, first try, unlike with Copen. So we got another shard, and brought down the only, like, familiar stage boss we're going to see until the end game. Or in a familiar setting, I should say. So no doubt his campaign, since he's our, like, actual heroic protagonist, is going to be way more of a feel-good ride than, say, Copen's was. Okay, still got a good rank. I'll take it. I get to collect 9 of these materials. Ooh, propulsion mechanism, nice. Lots of propulsion mechanisms. And we got a new weapon, I think, the Mischi? I recovered one of the shards from an Eden adept. They're somehow able to fuse them with their Septimus. This amplifies their power to a frightening degree. How does Quinn know how she's doing? I don't know that. Guess I can worry about that later. And we're going back into creepy territory again. Right. Again, not the biggest fan in the world of this game's plot. I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just unremarkable, and at times some of the character interactions are a little But we now get back to the good stuff, including collecting a couple basic rewards for basic challenges. Can we synth anything yet? Not yet. We'll check out our new bolt, though. The Mizchi. Redirectable 5 ways. We'll give it a shot. We can always swap it out, right? And then our skills. Would that also be under? Yeah, under loadout now. We'll go ahead and throw down our heal. And now I guess we're ready to take on the brand new stages. I'm excited for these. We'll start with the Batgirl's Mysterious Manor. This will probably be really, like, aesthetically distinct from a lot of the other more futuristic settings we've seen. Maybe something that leans kind of on a Castlevania-esque, like stereotypical horror aesthetic, like gothic horror. That'd be really cool. Alright, let's do it. Luminescence. Masked servants welcome all to a darkened abode, yet permit none to leave. In place of fear, there is only the foreboding pounding of a hero's heart. Oh yeah, this sounds cool. Right up my alley. Oh, it's like a high-tech gothic horror mansion. There you go. Oh, hold on. This gun. No. That's not gonna work. It looks just a bit unwieldy for my preferred playstyle. Anything up here? No. So, they said, like, a number of abductions in the city were traced back to this area. I'd imagine, since the adept here appeared to use blood in Copen's campaign, she's using them as, like, just raw materials. Oh, we can use our electro field to shatter the windows. I bet there's a challenge related to that. These mines are probably the most dangerous thing we'll run into around here, because they're fast. The, like, robotic foot soldiers, and especially right now, the Eden soldiers aren't much of a problem at all. Oh! Hello, zombie. Yeah, it's like a blood homunculus, and he was recalling, I think it was... I always forget her name, but like the reanimator adept from the first game, he was thinking back to her stage, which, yeah, that's the first thing it called to mind for me as well. So from behind the purple tinted pane of glass, a zombie will spawn. Blue ones are empty, purple ones have, I guess, something behind them. That one dropped like a heal, so, okay. Ooh. Oh, that technically counted as a hit? Man. Take it there's gonna be... Whoa! Lots of these, like, little cyber ninjas with the kunai. Got him. Hopefully we can cash this score in down the road. Yeah, there we go. Alright, don't want to go in front of the opened Iron Maiden. We somehow avoided getting hit there. Very nice. Very nice. There's gonna be some tricky platforming here, but I bet we can take it. Ooh. Okay, so as long as we're not, like, standing flat-foot on the ground right in front of them, we'll avoid any damage. That's pretty generous. I like that. Notice there's, like, claw marks from the adept here just all over the place. Looks like our electro field also shorts out these cages. Or it can, anyway. Alright. Nothing much to say here, it's just some really solid platforming in a very aesthetically pleasing and distinct area. Oop. made contact with some spikes accidentally. More mines? Yep. Hello, you are points, so we'll take you. I guess they're technically intended to discourage you from shattering all of the pane glass in an area, but they also drop a fair number of points, which in retro-style games like this, I take it we are supposed to care about. Oh, new skill, nice. That recharges a bit of our, like, electricity gauge, I think. Looks like we get some additional points every time we manage to ping a target with 3 levels of lock-on at a time and then drain them. Alright, halfway point, let's do it. Yeah, Gabriel, that's the vampire. She was very, very easy for Copen and went down quite quickly. Not sure if that's going to hold true here. It's also possible that the ones we kind of fought as throwaways near the end of Copen's campaign had their stats adjusted to be somewhat weaker, or at the least briefer fights. Anything up here? Nope. The Eden soldiers with the kunai are actually probably the most dangerous enemies here. Just the likeliest to hit us, anyway. Like so. That's new. Alright, we can take care of the mechanical troops pretty easily at this point. This area would be hell if they had more of these things mixed in with the standard troops. There we go. Knew we were overdue for one of them. Should be almost to the end now, right? Yeah, we've got to be. We just got like a huge disbursement of loot. The Hexaphile's got to be right up ahead. Well, you'd think so anyway. These guys have nothing on the Sumeragi ninja from the first game. Ooh, nice. Oh, we can just, like, destroy them before, like, we activate them with the, electro field, flash field, because I keep forgetting the proper name of that technique. Somehow. Fortunately, thanks to, flash field, the grenade launcher enemies can't really hurt us at all. Here we go. Time to fight Gabriel, then. And see, she's gotta be harder for GV, right? Because, like, she may have been the easiest boss for Copen. That sounds right. I want to say the hardest, next to Zonda's first form, was probably the chef. Did we ever see her, normal form, or her unmorphed form in Copen's campaign? I don't think we did.
言っちゃいけねえことを言ったみてえだな。行くぜ。
She's like a really big physical attacker, if I recall. And she has higher defense when she's actually wearing that bat-like mantle, I think.
ここはパクってきたゴミどもからライフエナジーを抜き取って、この俺ジブリール様のセブンスに変える実験場。これもパンテーラが持ち帰ったスメラギの技術ってやつの一つだ。んなことよりもさっき俺の身長バカにしやがったよな。許さねえ。てめえは極刑だ。
Oops, I keep progressing through dialogue before voice lines have actually run their course. I apologize for that. Oh, they home in. Okay. Well, to answer our question, at least thus far, she is not much harder for GV. Though I do remember as the fight progresses... Oh, damn it! And that totally drains our field. Great. It's taking much longer to drain her health, with GV. But, oh, here it comes. What on earth? So this was hard enough with Copen. But is GV? Oh my god. She can just... It looks like teleport to chop us down from midair? Like that. Okay, I think I remember this. She's going to, like, attack from various directions, right? Or not. Let's heal really quick. Let's try using our special to whittle her down just a little. And damn, emphasis on just a little. Oh, no, we're not dead. We've got Anthem. Oh yeah, she's so much harder as GV because we deal so little damage relative to Copen. Now we can, yeah, kill her in one hit. There we go. I think, is she maybe the only boss we've seen in the series so far who stays in a constant ult once it triggers? Based on the mansion, I thought it might be true. Yeah, so they... Even Quinn's friend. How am I ever going to tell her? They, Hey, Kyle the Bishop, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. I think this might be our first time seeing you, and... Well, regardless, we're glad to have you along this afternoon. They say her defense is maxed in the final form. Did not know that. That explains a lot, though. Much easier fight is Copen. Hence why we got a rank C there. We got the Naga weapon, though, which I'm trying to recall. I know it was in the first game. Don't recall what it did, however. So, let's check that out. Oh no, the Naga is what we actually made it through most of the first game with. Cal says her ultimate lasts forever but drains her health. That would explain why, like, relative to the other two phases, her health seemed to drain pretty rapidly. I wasn't keeping an eye on that. Thanks for the info. So we can't forge anything really worthwhile quite yet. We'll go ahead and chat with Jewel as we're supposed to do. That dream again. The gun, her body.
GV 大丈夫？私はここにいるから。GV、シアンさん、どうかしましたか？
おうか。起こしてごめん。もう大丈夫だから。
Suddenly I felt a gentle warmth. Quen was holding me.
人の心臓の音を聞くと安心できると本で読んだことがあります。
Again, Copen's kind of a horrible person, but at least most of his character interactions don't have really creepy subtexts.
私の心臓の音。
I could hear it, a soft drumming. And my own heart immediately started to settle.
私がそばにいます。だから安心して眠ってください。私にはそんなことしてあげられない。
Yeah, I like Copen's team a whole lot better than that. Better than this. This is just, yeah, yikes. Okay. Next up, we are heading to the sewers to take on the Aquaman reject from, I want to say the second Eden stage in Copen's campaign.
エデンの連中が地下水道で何かの工作を行っているみたい。多分狙いは水道施設。ライフラインの断絶を狙っているんだと思う。
分かった。被害が大きくなる前に止めてみせるよ。
それともう一つ。指揮官は G7 の一人みたいだ。連中の工作を阻止しつつ、シアンのためにも。
Alright. I'm interested to see how this game handles a sewer level. Effusion. Stalwart guardians await in a marine paradise where turbid waters roar, and the unworthy dare not dwell. Alright then, time for me to get the hell out. I'm clearly not wanted here. Oh, jeez.
エデンの構成員は下水道の奥まで配置されているようだ。
了解。構成員を無力化しつつ前進する。
Alright, yeah, this... We've got our charge weapon back. We've got the X-Buster back. I feel way more at home. Yeah, I expected as much. We can't use it if we're completely submerged. Oof. So we're fine up to about torso level, it looks like. We only really need to be careful when we are completely submerged. That opens up some really cool possibilities for level design here. There we are. I bought the, side game starring Copen, Luminous Avenger 9, I think it is. Or, yeah, it should be Luminous Avenger 9. Gunvolt Chronicles. Earlier this afternoon, and I fully intend for that to be the next thing we play on this channel. It seems to be, based on what I've, seen online, roughly the length of one character's campaign from this game, maybe a little longer. So there'll be plenty of fun for us there. With my preferred playstyle as well. Oh, it's these guys again. Yay. Khan says, I like the design of this level, but hate the water. So, I agree with you on the design. It's this game, this series in general, has really, really solid level design. But I actually like the inclusion of the water here because it forces you to change the way you play with this character specifically, a character who, by default, has a very passive play style. Now you have to think more extensively about things like positioning relative to your enemies just to get those tags active. Because, well, you can't use the flash field anywhere. These guys at least when it comes to like a high score run, I assume are among the worst enemies in the game. The yellow Eden soldiers with the power nullifying guns. At least I think that's what they do. They're... Again, it's been weeks since I've played this game, so I'm a little rusty on, well, everything. Oh. Cal says it's pronounced Ix, because that's what people call him. I gotcha. Strange, but I'll be interested to see how that plays into the story, or what kind of passes for one here. Oh, there we go. Able to cash our score in. Excellent. And do we have like a mini-boss or something here? Oh, yes we do! It's that mecha that I believe was secreted away from the Sumeragi airship, yeah, by Eden in the opening stage. And I think in Copen's campaign we fought near the tail end. That sounds right. Oof. Come on. We got this. At least it's not another mantis. Thank God those things don't show up like 500 times in this one. Yeah, there we go. Not any more difficult than it was for Copen. In fact, might even be a little bit easier for GV, which is a first. Halfway point, let's keep it going. What's these things? They were... In Copen's campaign, I think we only saw them in the Eden base. Yep, and the local adept is using his power as best he can. Oh yeah, that's right, this guy's effectively a natural hard counter for GV, whereas Copen was able to dismantle him in a matter of seconds. Yeah, and I think this is the first time we're going to be seeing these adepts untransformed in the entire campaign, because when Copen ran into them, I'm fairly certain that Gabriel and the water adept were fully transformed already. We've seen what Internet Kid looks like without his transformation active, and to be honest, he looks more serious as a threat without it. That ridiculous Ethernet cable spool wrapped around his head just doesn't do it for me design-wise. I do appreciate, I believe I talked about this in my first stream of Gunvolt 2, now, God, weeks ago. I really appreciate how in this game, especially compared to the first, the adepts themselves are more present within their stages, actually speaking and using their abilities to influence, like, typically the back half of their stage, as opposed to just showing up at the end as a one-off boss. I think that's a really, really good way to integrate the sort of world building you're attempting to do and level design. If that makes sense. There we are. Hey MC, how's it going? We are still trying to get our legs back under us in this particular series. We're in Aquaman stage right now. It's a gigantic sewer, because of course it is. Hope everybody watching, either live or after the fact as a VOD on YouTube, is having a great day, by the by. Oh, first time getting caught up on one of those. Might as well make it two. There we go. Yikes. We missed a medal, but that's fine. Hexaphile? No, not yet. So my theory is GV's playstyle is going to make Zonda's first form much easier, but their second is going to be relatively, like, just pure hell for him. MC says, I spent the day cleaning. Oh, nice. You know, there's something, at least I found, in this interminable lockdown. There's something, like, kind of pleasantly meditative about, like, just doing housework. Put some headphones in, pick up a podcast or an album that you really like, and just lose yourself in very, very simple rote work for a time. Come on. We actually have to destroy the siren here. That's the only time we had to. Kyle says, I went back to Gunvolt 1 and felt like it was just not as good as 2, or like it was a beta test for 2's ideas. I can definitely see that. I think, well, first off, I will say this. As somebody who really enjoyed the feel of the first game, and of Gunvolt in general, playing as GV feels like a really, really drastic downgrade after experiencing the incredible versatility that players are offered with Copen, from special boss weapons to his ability to dash in just about any direction, to the wonderful mechanic of charging into enemies physically to tag them for, oh, well, there went our kudos, for his electro field analog. This just feels like a bit of a step backward. But the way I always think about sequels is, like, okay, the original entry in a series is like, damn, the hell? Is like a proof of concept. I am not very good at this at all, obviously. What the hell? Okay, so we're supposed to do this all free-falling without the electro field. Got it! But then it just keeps going forever. Oh my god. Well, that was a set piece. I feel like, sorry, as I was saying before I got caught up in a whirlpool, I think that the initial entry in a lot of series ideally serves as like a proof of concept. Sort of as you said, Kyle, and that good sequels iterate upon that by taking a really solid, hopefully like field-tested core concept and expanding upon it or experimenting with it in interesting ways. MC says, I didn't need to wait for the quarantine to discover that. Well, in my case, it was like, back when I was still working outside the house all the time, I was constantly thinking, okay, housework, let's get it done as quickly as possible, right? Just as fast as you can. But now that I have a little bit more time to, like, take it easy and really lose myself in something I'm listening to, I find it's a far more relaxing activity for me than it was when I was always on a clock. And Kyle says, I do wish, though, that 2 had 8 bosses for both characters. Maybe 3 will do that. Hopefully. I think it's interesting that, for all intents and purposes, each character gets to fight half of the Guardians on their home turf, and then the other half just, like, in the end game. But I agree with you. I would have preferred a completely distinct roster of bosses, or a largely distinct roster of bosses for each. And oh my god, what is he wearing? Oh, those cargo pants are not a good look, man. Cargo pants with, like, the leggings, wetsuit, or high socks, whatever that is. That looks dreadful. MC says I would take 4 good bosses for each rather than too many mediocre. Well, this series does not have a problem with mediocre boss design whatsoever. Except for, like, the Mantis units from the first game. I see no reason why they couldn't crank out a roster of 16 really solid stage bosses. Given that like, level design is something they have down, like, down pat.
力ずくでも奪い返す。
サイバーディーバのためね。小せえ。あんたの戦う理由は海に比べたら小さすぎるぜ。見てな。
So I have a feeling this fight's gonna be hell for GV. As Copen, it was very, very easy. I do really like his transform design. Milas is... Did we ever even learn his name directly in Copen's campaign? I've got no idea. Here we go. No idea how on earth we're supposed to dodge that without some kind of upgrade for GV anyway. Well, we're getting him though, just... Man, I might just be terribly biased now, but seriously, after playing as Copen, this feels kind of slow and ungainly. Come on, what you got, what you got? Right, what on earth does your ult do again? Right, you just, do that with your trident. So do we dodge the trident, like, due to the hole between its prongs by standing stock still? It doesn't matter, he's dead, whatever. Again, not the best showing, but... Like, as GV, these fights are, Man, I kinda hate to say it, they're nowhere near as entertaining as they were with Copen. I kind of like the more active, high-risk, high-reward playstyle. Cal says I didn't know anyone's names and had to Google it when I went to write down boss weaknesses for Copen. You do get, I want to say, like... You get the names of the bosses Copen fights in his 4, like, personal stages. And we learn Gabriel's name. Internet Boys at some point, too. I just don't think we ever got his. Cal says Copen is a more aggressive playstyle. Yeah, and anybody who's familiar with my streams can tell you I favor a very aggressive, at times recklessly aggressive playstyle. Like, GV would feel a bit better in this game if he had, like, a omnidirectional dash a la Copen, but he doesn't, so. Inside the garden, Eden's remote fortress. Oh, we've seen this before, right? Yes, we have. I don't think they maintained a Seven Deadly Sins theme for the bosses, or the stage bosses in this game. Could be wrong, but I really don't think so. MC says, GV is Dark Souls Brady with a shield. Yes, with the shield early on. Copen is me once we finally got that upgraded katana and Drake Blood armor and could just let loose on everything. No, specifically, GV is me trying to invade another player. And Kyle says you'll enjoy Ix a lot then because it's faster and maybe better designed, as it's designed only around Copen. Yeah, no, I would greatly prefer... I love the concept of a Copen-only game. He's a terrible character, make no mistake. But his gameplay, the way he feels, like, in your hands, is incredible. Though, still, I am going to be interested to see if this hypothesis bears fruit. I think Zonda's first form, the only fight that gave us really extensive difficulty with, Copen, is gonna be much easier as GV, because we can then just lock on to their mirrors, like when they spawn 4 or 5 clones of themselves, and destroy them all in short order. Kyle says, I also think the EX weapons in X are just way better than the ones in 2. I can't wait to see that then, because I really like the special weapons Copen had in this game. And yeah, already can't wait for tomorrow to see what we're gonna be getting into there. Still nothing good. Lovely. Did we complete any more challenges? Nah. It's unlikely that we would. We'll go ahead and try our new gun. I don't think I ever did try the Technos properly in the first game. And it's Internet Boy time. Now, given the way he fights, remember he teleports around the arena, remains completely static, and summons, like, a variety of damaging constructs into the arena. I think this fight's gonna be pretty easy for GV, despite his relatively low damage, because once Internet Boy is in a given location, he's locked. Also, folks, if you'll give me just a moment, I am going to collect a package that was dropped off at my door a couple minutes ago, and get myself a brand new drink. I'll be back with you in maybe 3 minutes to burn down what little remains of the incredible Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. Don't go anywhere. So glad to have you this afternoon. Alright, ladies and gents, we are back. Sorry for the delay. Had to take in, well, a couple pretty hefty packages, books for this upcoming semester, of course. That and, oh, damn this quarantine, or damn this pandemic, I should say. Thank you very much, MC. Got a lovely email, sent out to all of us associated with the department, on the behalf of one of our instructors, asking someone to teach an in-person section of History 2020, which in my university system is American history from Reconstruction, so the immediate end of the American Civil War on through the present, which is a course I actually have experience assisting with / teaching, kinda sorta, even though I'm not an American historian. And it's I really, really, really love, this opportunity. I love opportunities like this to actually get in a classroom and work with students and all that. Oh, but it's too dangerous. It's just... I'd give my right arm for it, but right now it's too damn dangerous for me. I fall into 3 different overlapping high-risk categories. So, sorry. That is to say, that explains why the break was a little longer than anticipated. I was having to read through that email and see, okay, is this something I could maybe do? And, no. Kyle says, Technos is the gun that bullies Gabriel, because in her second form she's ducking under her bullets in a regular stance. Yeah, it does sound like it'd be really effective for that fight. And also, challenges are mostly for replaying levels. You probably won't complete most of them without doing that, but you played Gunvolt once, so you probably know. Yeah, I do. I just, I always check to see if we happen to tick off one of the handful of general challenges. Usually don't, but, anything would be worth it if it could get me an air dash right now. MC says, I know how good it can be to teach a topic you love. Oh, definitely. And for me, it's less about the material and more about, just in-classroom, face-to-face experience with helping people, helping students. It's the most wonderful, rewarding thing I've ever done. Got to do it for all of one semester before this happened. So, it is what it is. Now, time to break the internet and actually live up to the name of this stream. I gotta hear this. They somehow digitized an entire facility. Sure, whatever. Let's do it. Virtuality. A brave new digital world where reality is virtual and fact is fiction, all ruled by a fatally glitched set of protocols. Does any of that mean a damn thing in the context of the plot? So, one thing, it's a tiny, tiny criticism, but... Oh, no. What the hell? So, to be clear, they did not digitize a building. He digitized multiple buildings. MC says, reminds me of ID Invaded. Oh, this is madness. Also, sorry, minor criticism time. In the first game, a lot of the, level descriptions were prone to purple prose, but they always hinted at the personality or actions of that level's boss. But most of these, by and large, just seem to be almost complete nonsense. Kyle says there's a challenge for the water guy's level where you have to beat it without getting hit by his whirlpools. I would have imagined as much. I'm guessing there's also one for Gabriel's stage. Oh dear. Oh, that's gonna be fun to navigate. For either breaking no stained glass windows or destroying all of them. Oh, this is so interesting. The entire stage is a Scooby-Doo chase scene. Cal says destroy all windows, yeah. That's what I thought. Well, we came damn close our first time. Oh, it's everybody's favorite. Really? Okay, so I don't know... To be fair, they're written well because they're supposed to be, irritating. But I don't know who's worse, Internet Kid or, like, the Disco Rapper. I'm gonna go with Internet Kid because, at the very least, I think disco music and aesthetics are really cool. Oh, there's like a dark jewel. Okay, MC's got a fair point. Their vote is for the English translator being the most annoying. That's fair dues. I just may agree. Oh, this is so trippy. I kinda love it, actually. At least it's easy to dissipate the jewel clones. Kyle says also Burst was made after 2, so that's probably why its stage info is better written. I gotcha. Gunvolt Burst was the, like, kind of demake, right? The retro, like, sort of 8-bit looking game. You could play as, like, characters from other, like, hit small-timer indie games. Oh, it's these things from Viper's stage again. Also, our good friend Viper the Rapper released, a video, I want to say last night, of his face from, like, a still image being manipulated to make it appear as if he's singing Baka Mitai from Yakuza. And I believe that the title of the video is I'm Baka Mitaiing over crack. It's one of the most glorious things I've ever seen, and is well worth your time. Let me see. Kyle says Mighty Gunvolt games are like classic Mega Man, and regular Gunvolt games I always compare them to Mega Man X, but I've been told these are like ZX. They're actually incredibly reminiscent of the Mega Man Zero franchise, which I loved growing up. And are made by largely the same team, as I understand it. Good to see the turret still getting some work in the sequel. Soundtrack for this stage is incredible, by the way. Is it something I would ever listen to, like, in my spare time? Probably not, unlike some legitimately great soundtracks, but it's so appropriate for this stage and for its boss. It sounds very, very hectic. Alright, are we there? No, there was a passage. Higher up. I'm with Jewel on this one. This is the worst. This is the worst kid. And yeah, I'm going to give most annoying boss merits to the Internet Kid, because I'm fairly certain the translation made the Disco Rapper a lot worse than he was in the original. Yeah, Kyle says Gory is funnier and Tessio's just annoying, right? But of course, they're both kind of intended to be. I want to say Gory's... What was it I noticed about his fight that was so bizarre? Oh yeah, his ult, the Poetry Slam, according to at least the voice clip that plays when he activates it, in the original is for whatever reason called the Poetry Up Yours, which is a thing that I just said. MC says, punch the snot kid in the face, yes or no? Oh yes, definitely. It also doesn't help his case that I absolutely hate his transformed state. Like, he has perhaps the worst looking transformation or post-transformation appearance in the entire series we've seen so far. Kel says, but he's annoying because he's supposed to be... Oh no, yeah, that's definitely good writing. It's just... a great case of succeeding at being a monster. Time to run, time to run. Not worth getting the medal. Oh, really? Oh. Tricky, tricky. There we are. MCS ever played Ristar? A bit of it when I was a kid. I don't recall an absolute ton about it, save that I found it very enjoyable. I remember it being a very, very pleasant, like, platforming experience. Alright, we got this. Kinda, sorta. Let's recharge. So up here... there we are. As he says, so you know where my Discord and Twitch icon comes from. Oh yeah, I do. I recognized it immediately. I was like, God, it's been ages since I've seen or heard anything related to that game. But I definitely recognized it. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Oop. Oop. Well, I mean, if it poses no real danger to us. Top tier strategies. There we go. That's what y'all tune into this channel for, right? Cal says reminds me of Portal. Oh, speaking of, you know what game had, maybe the best, like, blatant Portal knockoff mechanics I've ever seen? The original Darksiders. You get what is effectively a portal gun for the game's, like, massive 5th dungeon. And somehow the mechanics, this is something that the Darksiders folks were generally very, very adept at. Like the quote-unquote, shall we say, purloined mechanics actually work really well, just as well, if not maybe slightly better than they did in at least the first Portal. And yeah, you're even like putting down like blue and orange portals on very specifically denoted surfaces. It's not inspiration, it is a straight out ripoff, but a lot of fun. Speaking of, that's a series of games I should play for you guys sometime. Darksiders, one of my favorite series of all time that's had a really, really unfortunate history recently. Darksiders 3, I'm sorry, was not good. It was absolute trash, actually. Though that's not for a great deal of trying on the part of the devs. They did their very best with a limited budget.
私の姿こんな風に利用するのも許せないけど渋いんだよ。
There we go. Kyle says first thing people do in Portal is shoot the ground in the roof and just whee! I mean, it was the first thing I did, so checks out in my experience. And MC says, yeah, but you can't beat Cave Johnson. So, I've played Portal 2, or I borrowed it, or no, I played it at a friend's house, I think, a bit when I was younger. Never actually made it far enough to run into him, but I have seen, like, his content in other people's playthroughs. I'm still going to go for Darksiders, because you get the portal gun and use it in the context of taking down an immortal demon general who has ravaged the entire Earth, and inexplicably speaks like a stereotypical ogre, despite being like Hell's greatest tactical mastermind. You have to, like, shoot portals onto various points at his body to just, like, start carving him up from various angles, or reach certain points of vulnerability. It's a really interesting system. MC says, yeah, but the moon. Okay, so, the moon and lemons, I'll give you that. No, sure, great stuff. But in Darksiders 2, totally unrelated to the Portal concept now, like, Portal can't say this. One of the main bosses is an angel who got fat off of eating corrupted, like, sludge from beyond the realms of heaven and hell, and is attacking you in, like, a gigantic heavenly hover round, and is meant to be taken completely seriously. Alright, boss time. I'm looking forward to this one. Here we go, time to fight the game's resident obnoxious child boss. Ugh, look at that thing. It's like a giant Ethernet cable or something wrapped around his head, right? Oof. Okay, so for the most part, he's just going to be relying on Jewel and, looks like summoning in mines. Oh, these again, right. We may or may not get this one. What? Okay. No idea how that happened. Well, we're gonna win, probably, but just barely. Oh yeah, his ult is real weird. We've more or less seen everything he can do at this point, though, I think. Okay, not the best performance on my part, but there he goes. Cal says, kinda wish they completely remade these games to look like Ix. Like, once you get to it, you'll see there's a big difference. But these ports came out before Ix, so I can't really complain. I mean, for something that was originally created as downloadable software for, like, the 3DS, and still, I want to say pretty early on in the 3DS's life cycle, it looks really nice. This is some high-quality sprite artwork, but yeah, you're right, I can't wait to see what the new game looks like. Rank A? Oh, alright. I'll take it. Oh, Orochi, nice. That's what we used to defeat, Nova in the first game. Guess who was waiting for me after the mission? A panicked Chao and an anxious Quen.
So, not...
Something bad happened on the highway. The road had been split by some kind of crystal. Right. This is Gauri's work. There was no doubt that a Septima was behind it.
これをエデンの連中が
これだけの規模のセブンス、他には考えられないよ。
ゆっくり休んでいる暇もないか。了解。すぐに現場に向かうよ。
GV、行くんですね。
Was he present in, like, the highway stage? MC says Crystal Day, am I right? Yeah, this is Gauri's stage. I won't let Eden hurt any more innocents. Crossroads, a mysterious crystal shimmers at the spot where the highway cleaves in twain. The Azure Dragon and White Tiger match Fang and Claw once more. Yeah, we did not have this stage in Copen's campaign. It's gonna be another duel between the two of them, I suppose. Oh, what a gorgeous area.
一度返せ。ゲスどもが。この声、この下からか。
No, it's Gauri and the chef.
返すわけにはいかない。ミチルを駒だと。クズか。
いえいえ、落ち着けアスロック。あんたもスライ、うちのクルーがいるのやつで。心配すんな、お前のシスは手帳に持ってな。なぜならそれがラブ&ピース。
Right, so I get the distinct impression that he was made considerably more annoying in the translation, whereas Tessio was not.
実力行使でミチルは返してもらう。なんだこいつ。悲しんだ。引かせてもらうぜ。ミラーピースを渡すんだ、アキュラ。
Cal says, I saw someone complaining on the Gunvolt 3 trailer video that they want 3 to have an English dub because they hate all the anime stuff about Gunvolt. And I was like, you just don't like Gunvolt, sir. Okay, so as someone who takes kind of a middling position on this, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, really overdone anime aesthetics, but I think this game does what it's going for really, really well on the whole. Now, I do think having a dubbed soundtrack or voice track would be beneficial for the third game, if only because, especially for folks like me who are trying to stream the game at the same time, it can be kind of challenging attempting to read enough of the text displayed on screen mid-mission to understand what's going on, while you're also trying to play through a stage, you know, reasonably well, without just walking into attacks and the like all over the place. So I can see the appeal. Voice acting's great on the whole, but having like an option between like different voice tracks, kind of like say Sekiro does, would be really, really nice.
答えはノーだ。だが足止めにはなってもらうぞ、ガンボルト。アキラ。
Oh, so instead of fighting our oh wait, no, this is Gunvolt's endgame then. We're going to cut down him and the chef here, I guess? Now, I'm curious, because Copen was able to shred the bosses he didn't fight in his special, or in his, like, I guess you could say, personal stages really easily. I'm curious to see if these guys have less health than they did when we fought them during Copen's campaign. MC says, why are you making a Japanese product in Japan? And Fury had some interesting dubbing. French game with French, English, and Japanese dubbing. Oh, I did not know it was originally a French game. Well, I may have forgotten, but it's fascinating. And the dub, I recall being pretty solid, not, like, exceptional, so... And yeah, Kyle says, remember Copen's fifth stage was fighting Milas, so now GV's fighting Gory. Yeah, Gory and the chef. We've got Gory, the chef, and then the goddess to fight in the end game.
12時までに時間をアンガーどうやらあんたがアンガード派手にハテナ Going down で Going down
This means we get to see the poetry up yours again, though.
Wannabe どもに味方するお前の思想理解不能リズムを刻む俺の
And yeah, it...
リズムで刻むお前のプライド
It looks like he does have slightly less health than he did in, Copen's campaign. Problem is, I'm having to fight him with GV. And compared to Copen, I could say definitively now, especially with the way this game's designed, GV kinda sucks.
Wannabe どもはエアヘルダッダッナウさ口からヘル
よう嘆くくだらないパフォーマンスな一人でやっていろ無関係な人々を巻き込み苦しめるエデンは間違っているお前は踊っているんじゃない
Your rhymes are just cover for deceit and misery. Okay, I kinda love that line.
道家の前に終わり告げる暗夜咲く来生を打ち合わせ
Yep, there it is. Kyle says you're gonna have to grind Gunvolt if you want to get the true endings. Oh no, what exactly are the criteria for the true endings, if you don't mind? I have this horrible sinking feeling it's not going to be just breaking or beating each character's campaign. Oh, we can break the crystals? Lovely. The coverage on that is very good. Whoops. Oh, okay. No, good. Kyle says the true ending is just replaying the final stage and you fight a hidden boss. And Gunvolt is harder than Copen's. Right, okay. So once we complete both campaigns, right, like, totally, we can replay the final stage of either and then just access the ending, right? We don't have to, like, reach a certain level or collect items like the jewels in the first game or anything like that. I've not seen any collectibles like that, so... Oh, Kyle says for Gunvolt I had to grind gear that buffed my damage. I see what you mean. You don't have to, like, grind anything to access the stage, just maybe to beat it. Yeah, I could definitely tell, like, I've been spoiled by Copen's gameplay. MC says GV is trash, confirmed. Well, now, let's get some honest opinions in on this, though. Based on what you guys have seen, doesn't it seem like Copen is maybe a little bit harder to learn, like, at first, but, like, actually a vastly superior character? Yeah, Kyle says GV isn't trash, Copen just has a lot more tools. That's a fair assessment. GV's just more basic. Yeah, more basic, and... Oh, MC says, okay, true game dev opinion. That's right, This is odd. Jewel usually isn't this nice to Quinn.
いいえ何でもありませんよ。
ただいま、王家。
I do appreciate having a, like, legitimate, experienced game developer along for the ride for a lot of these streams. Allows us to get a more... Yeah, there we go. MC says GV's a great character for new players because he requires little aiming. Exactly, he's... That, and with tools like the Electro Field that allow you to slow descents, like if you're falling or having to make blind jumps, he feels very safe. The problem is, especially for a lot of the bosses in this game, his lessened mobility, which you just mentioned, MC says he needs to be less mobile to balance his crazy output, right. You need to, he's less mobile, allowing him to get hit by enemy attacks far more easily, even though there may be a reduced cost he has to pay for it. But also then, his damage output is ridiculously low, by default, by comparison. Cal says they both require little aiming. You just dash into enemies on Copen. You technically need more aiming with GV. And MC says dashing into enemies is a part of aiming for Copen. I'm going to agree with MC on that one, because at the very least you do need to learn how each of Copen's basic dashes, horizontal and then diagonal up or down, which all have different kind of feels to them, actually operate, and you have to... something I really appreciate about his gameplay, you have to learn enough of your enemy's moveset and maneuvers to determine when it's safe to dash into them from certain directions. And then you have to go through the rigmarole that GV typically would have, burning them down with a special move. Trade-off is Copen's able to burn enemies down about 3 times as fast. Tashkent is in Central Asia. It's not exactly close. Cal says I know Copen because I've used these games all day, so I just hold bottom left or right. The downward diagonal dashes are really good. I actually... In my playthrough, I think I preferred, like, the upward dashes whenever I could use them. That was because his stages actually had a lot of climbing, if I recall.
構わないよ。僕だってシアンを早く元の姿に戻す。
GV、ありがとう。シアンさんたら先ほどからお礼を言ってばっかりですね。
Yeah, MC says think of it this way. You have to position Copen and do the dash at the right time. Not just that, but more often than not, like if you're in a boss battle, you have to expend another bullet on dashing away from the enemy as soon as you connect with them. Because most of these bosses are not going to be terribly permissive of you staying in their immediate vicinity for very long. You gotta get in, connect, get out, and then go through what we typically have to with GV, holding down, like, the special ability button and running around. MC says it's more rewarding, but you do need to learn to aim a little more. Yes, to be fair, that learning curve is... It feels very, very natural and kind of generous. They're able to teach you very well with the basic low-threat enemies present in Copen's stages. But yeah, there's more to learn, much more to learn, and let's not forget also learning each of the special weapons. Or, in the case of my playthrough, learning how to use the chef's homing rings because they're objectively the best weapon, and just stashing all the rest of them. So the 3 of us left Quinn and headed for Tashkent. MC says GV is just hit and then let the power flow while you focus on dodging. Yeah, with the only downside, or I would say a significant downside there being, you don't actually start out when you, like, begin a GV campaign with the tools you actually need to dodge effectively. Alright, so now it's on to the garden and Zonda. Cooldown lens? Cal says best weapon for mobbing is Tianjin's Ice Blades. That's the other weapon I used pretty extensively. Ooh, Wrathful Eye, I'll take this. Increases our flash field attack power, yes please. MC says, but both characters are pretty solid. Oh yeah, no, it's strictly a matter of personal preference here. I pretty strongly prefer Copen, but both of them are really well designed. And as we could see, there's actually more opportunity for outright customization, like of your entire playstyle as GV. It's just, Copen has more completely mechanically distinct tools he can deploy. NC says both characters are pretty solid, though GV is trash. I mean, you're not wrong. Alright, let's get ready to take on the garden. Kyle says the ice blades and the water weapon are the only ones I used. I don't like most of them, and some weapons you don't have to use at all. Very true. I don't think I found a weapon... MC, see if you can help me remember this, because I think you were present for that stream. I don't think we found a weapon that, I really disliked. We found a couple that, like, didn't gel with my playstyle really well, but all of them seem to be pretty effective. Kyle says, like, Tessio's weapon, no one is weak to except Tessio. No one is weak to Gibral's weapon except the true Zonda. It kind of makes sense that the internet troll's own weakness would be himself, I think. Eden. The enemy citadel, the garden, rises about Tashkent. A false paradise, or the nexus for the next step in human evolution. Right, so time to take on the goddess, the chef, complete with his horrible golem, and Zonda theirself. Oh, right, these things are here. MC says some of them seemed annoying to use, but nothing truly bad. Yeah, it seemed like the learning curve for some of them was much higher than for others, but that's fine. Where on earth did it go? Hope that trooper doesn't want to show himself. That is totally his right. There we are. And I think once we beat the main story proper, we will get access to the special DLC stages. Kyle says my personal route through Copen's bosses is Desna, Gori, Tianjin, Azrak. I think I went Tianjin first, then the goddess, Gori, and the chef. No, I did chef, then Gori, didn't I? Oh, GV, hold your tongue. I love the design of Eden. All of those gorgeous, like, kind of almost lavenderish looking highlights. Absolutely beautiful. Again, very reminiscent of some of the Neo Arcadia stages from Mega Man 0 and 02, I want to say? Cal says that's because Desna's easy, and then she beats Gori, and Gori beats Tianjin, and Tianjin beats Azrak. I never discovered any of the boss weaknesses during my playthrough of Copen's campaign, because unlike... another high point of praise for this game, unlike with the Mega Man games, boss weapons in Gunvolt 2, for Copen anyway, actually feel like they're all viable against just about any enemy if you have a playstyle that accommodates them well. It's not like, oh, here's one very unwieldy weapon that's only really useful against one opponent because it deals like a third of their health bar per hit, but you have absolutely no reason to ever use it outside of that fight, because in addition to being unwieldy, it does chip damage against everything else. That was more of a problem in the original Mega Man series than in X or Zero, but still. There we go. More than once now, those, like, red-suited foot soldiers have disappeared and then taken so long to respawn, we were just long gone by the time they were primed to attack. One of the things I'm going to do just as soon as I get my capture card set up is stream the Mega Man Zero collection on Switch for you guys, because God almighty those games are good. And since we've been enjoying these, you'll see kind of where they get most of their design philosophy from. Very similar games, with the plus side that each has way more bosses than the Gunvolt games do, and typically they're just as well designed. Cal says that's why X is better. If you use a weakness, Lola will tell you, this is doing a lot, boss. And MC says, giving me the willies, going old school here. Look, I will agree with that, but I'm also the worst barometer of what counts as old school, because all of my music, almost all of my music, is still on disc. My favorite era of, like, pop culture was the 70s, and I feel like a 90-year-old man in a 22-year-old's body most of the time. There we go. Boss time, maybe? So it sounds like the goddess is up next. Oh, I remember this area. Again, seems like most of this game, especially like the garden stages, were much easier as coping. Oh man, I'm already dreading that foundation stage. I think that's Garden 2. One second, I know I've missed some things on chat. I'll get to checking it momentarily, like, as soon as we make it through this. Jeez. No, 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 no! Damn, really? This is very reminiscent of a Mega Man Zero stage. MC says, I still have vinyls here, not that I listen to them. Oh yeah, I got a record player right over there, along with a lot of original run discs from the 70s. I've got maybe half of Barry White's, like, Golden Age discography. Very proud of those. I think the last thing I listened to was just a couple weeks ago. I was listening to, forget the album, but one of, like, the classic Al Green albums. Cal says I saw that coming. Well, it happens. The garden is the only area I've seen in the series thus far where I would say there is a considerable chance of dying easily. And Kyle also says, the ZX collection is probably the only Mega Man games I'd buy on Switch, just because I don't like the X collection being two separate games, and realistically I'd enjoy ZX more, because I love every Gunvolt game. Again, if you're big into Gunvolt, you would probably actually prefer the Zero games, because they are basically this, or I should say, Gunvolt is Zero with the serial numbers filed off. ZX, from what little I played of it, is still very good and incorporates a similar design philosophy, but is based around like an open world. where you are able to discover and then progress through more linear stages using abilities gained from previous bosses and things like that. Zero is almost exactly like this, with the one criterion that, at least in the original run games on Game Boy, I think this was changed for the collection, where you have the option to change it. You have a limited number of attempts at each mission, and if you fail a mission, that's like it. It's gone. So I don't think we ever get an answer as to what the foot soldiers... I mean, they're adepts too, ostensibly. We never really determine what it is they can do. Some of them can teleport, but that might be a function of their armor instead of their Septima. Alright, another security room. You know, these have grown on me over the course of the series. Fun little distractions. Ooh! Very good. There we are. New skill, I'll be sure to equip that. Actually equip all the skills we've missed back at base. Goddess time. Cal says this is late, but you could use Naga to pierce the robots that charge the green laser shield because your normal bullets get blocked. Yeah, with Copen, I think you could just charge him anyway. But dashing over him seems to work just as well. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. If I recall, out of, like, Copen's bosses, she was one of the more durable. I think she has a greater share of health than most of the 7. And we're fighting her with Gunvolt. Granted, enhanced with that special eye, but, So we're not gonna keep any of our score at all, but we seem to be... Oh, right, she does that. We seem to be doing okay. Okay, we're doing poorly, but we're getting there. Okay, now... Right. Her very weird ult. Thankfully, she's wide open for most of it. No, 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 no. Well, we got her, but... Cal says, I technically only use the generic gun and maybe the Technos because the charge shot is weird for me and some of the other guns are weird like Mizchi, I think. A lot of the guns do seem to be, or Gunvolt's weapons seem to be very situational. But I quite like the Naga. It carried me through all but the final boss in the first game. Seems significantly less useful here. Cal says death by hair. Yeah. I really like the Septima powers in this game. Well, both games, but they got really creative with boss abilities and, like, character design in this one. MC says, another game you might enjoy playing, Astabreed. I've heard of it, or I've heard the name before. A very polished rail shooter. Oh, awesome. I definitely will check that out then. It's been ages since I played a good rail shooter. So now all we have left is the Garden 2, and with it, the Chef. We're definitely going to want to use Naga. Kyle says, actually, Naga has a use in one of the Eden stages. Yeah, and it sounds like it's coming up. It'll be very useful against the Chef. MC asks, ever played Rez? I have not, I don't think. So we can create a cooldown lens. Yeah, why not? Sure. MC says, man, you need to play Rez. Also a rail shooter. I will see. I'll see if I can get my hands on it. I mean, I should be able to pretty easily. But I'll see specifically if I can get a copy I could play for you guys. Let's get them skills. Okay, so we've got the Game Breaker again. We're definitely equipping that. Septimal Burst. I think we'll go for Septimal Burst. That's as good as any other. Ipsy says, I would say there are games, and then there is Rez. I'm gonna check this out real quick. Give me just a moment. I'm gonna see if it's available. Musical rail shooter. Oh! Oh, I think I've seen this before. And yes, it is available on PS4, so I can definitely stream this for you. Cal says speedrunners use Luxcalibur on Gabriel before she hits her third phase, so they do massive damage before the defense buff. It's a really powerful weapon. There's one boss from the first game I remember just wasting with it. I think before they even hit their third phase. I think it was the Nova's first form. MC says Res Infinite is probably the one you can get. I think so, which is the Definite Edition. Excellent. I'll definitely get that, and we can check it out together. Alright, back to the Inferno. Wait, did I even equip our new lens? Oh, hell. Okay, we're good with everything else, right? This is the underground stage. I.e. the one with the crazy platforming. MC says this is one of the games that got me into game development. Oh, nice. I've heard nothing but good things about it. Oh, wait. So GV's second garden stage is different. That's right, Copen went under, like, to the garden's foundation, but it looks like GV is going to be continuing on as normal. Ouch. So close. Oh, damn you. Okay, 1 second. We can do this. Right like so. Very nice. Kyle says, also, if I don't like Naga, I definitely can't play regular Mega Man. Mega Man, or, well, I would say the first X, either. Here's where Naga comes in handy. Yeah.
そうだな。
If they were the same, Copen's story would have ended there.
なんでもない。
Very true. Well, unless he used certain weapons, or some of Lola's functions, but maybe even then. No dice, I don't know. He can't charge the electricity boxes. Well, again, by like his moveset in the game, no, but according to the lore, he should be able to, since he obtained fragments of Gunvolt's Septima, as well as I want to say he should have data on Asimov's from the time he temporarily absconded with it in the end, or near the end of the first game.
エデンもよくやるよ。
貫け。
けどこれは少し厄介かもね。
Where's Copen's Naga? Well, where is Copen's ridiculously overpowered gun from the first game? That's my question. And this is where the two paths converge once again, it looks like. Alright. Time for another brawl with security.
レベル4エリアにて侵入者発見。総員出撃だ。同志を守れ。向かってくるなら容赦はできないんだ。
If all of these foot soldiers are adepts as well, they must have, like, the absolute garbage tier powers. You know, like all of those X-Men introduced throughout the 90s, whose job it is mainly just to sit around back at base because, they have, like, translucent skin or what have you, and that's it. That's their superpower. MC says the good old trope of NPCs being more powerful than their PC variant. Oh, I know. Always the worst. And Kyle says I like to picture people that didn't play Gunvolt 1 then play 2, and Copen pulls out his Gunvolt 1 weapon and they're like, what? Yeah, it's, I want to say, aside from the final bosses, he was the only fight in the, or the only opponent in the first game that gave us any real difficulty at all. Much, much easier in this game. I do appreciate that if you tag the invisible soldiers, you can still affect them with the electro field after they phase out. One more, I think? One more and then it's chef time. We are getting there, slowly but surely. Whew. Kyle says, like, not having the knowledge of looking away from the Medusa weapon. Took me a little while to figure out that's what that actually was in the first game. I think because the boss that actually was supposed to use it either never did or did only once during my initial fight with them. And, like, by happenstance, it didn't connect anyway, so I had to learn that one during Copen's second boss fight. Cal says, I remember I did like that one gun that had like black bullets and the bullets ricochet. Yeah, I'm trying to remember which one that is. Alright, so Naga should make really short work of you.
アキラが追っていったロボット使いあのオールドマンだ奴ならとうに調理済みだここにいるのは俺とお前そして
He actually, this boss, I think, has the best visual design in either of his forms out of anyone in the entire game.
ガレとクローネその熱で敵を焼き上げろ
Let's get him.
そのロボットのことか戻れガレとクローネと俺のマリアージ貴様に敗れるもの
Or not.
戻れ
コンビネーションなら私と GV だって
釣りつるぜ呼びよ貴様はかまどの中で焼き上がりを待つ
Oh, he's still got tons of health.
その身を油やがては焦げ落ちる
His hasn't changed at all from Copen's campaign, I don't think.
お前のそれはおままごとだ戦いを遊ぶ者に
Here we go.
アブドブルー勝利はパティシエの真剣勝負
Let's just get it over with.
ならば焦がさせ程よく焼き上げてみせろ時間だアミューズブーシ
Some of this fight banner is so bad.
豪華をも超える熱量で極限のかまどすら焼き崩せ逃げ惑え
Oh, I have no idea what's going on. It's been so long, it's been too long. Got him, though.
全熱で焼き上げられたのは俺の方だった
Cal says, I don't think I ever learned that attack myself. I looked up a speed run because I wanted to see, and they did it, and I was like, oh! And Azrock is the best. Yeah, I really, really like his design. And there's a challenge for Copen to beat him while the Gallet Crone is dead. That would be quite a challenge, because, if I recall, that thing does not stay down for long, at all.
あれは止められまい
こいつ何を言っているの
全ては甘美な楽園への道筋承知されるわ俺だったか
Cal says it's not that hard, you just kill it before he dies. I know, I'm thinking, just thinking about that time frame, though, because you'd have to get him down to the very, very end of his health bar, because he begins the animation to revive it almost immediately, I want to say. I'm actually disappointed they didn't bring back the second phase of that fight instead of the first. Oh no. Oh no, it's this fight. Oh wait, no, it's just the weird-looking tank thing. That's perfectly fine. I thought we were having to fight Phase 1 zoned already, and I thought, oh no, that's supposed to be a different stage, isn't it? Oh good. For Copen, this fight was kind of easy. For GV, it's going to be hell. Wait a minute. We've got a charge shot. There we go. I don't have to bother with your stupid janky shield at all. And just as soon as I figure that out, we get rid of it anyway. Okay, sure. Oh my god, I'm starting to agree with MC. GV is trash. Oh, we are going to die here, kids. Yep. Okay, so that was one of the easiest bosses for the other character, the character that I'm now going to exclusively refer to as the good one. And GV just gets annihilated right off the bat. That's great. Wait, Pervasion can just... Oh, right, I guess I can just walk through all of it. Doesn't feel terribly sporting, though, does it? It also makes it more or less impossible for us to actually attack it at any point. I mean, yeah, this sure is a strategy. Just feels awful. Well, now, I will actually push back on that. We had discussed this during our earlier Gunvolt 2 stream. Unlike Sumeragi, Eden is a fundamentally sympathetic organization. They're a group of, like, historically, like, almost ritually abused people who have gone a little bit too far in their quest for, like, fair treatment. With Zonda and friends opting for payback instead. Not unjustifiably, though. Alright, let's try this again. Let's give this a shot. And we're good. Again, hardly my best performance, but I got so used to playing as Copen, it's... Kyle says I would have just sided with Eden at the start, less struggling. Well, no, I mean, they're going too far, but... They've also got cooler adepts than Sumeragi did in the first game. I could see the appeal. I could definitely see the appeal there. Oh, except for Zonda. Hold on. I've actually been wanting to do this. We'll do it properly in the next stage, but we need to have a little chat about characterization, character design, and Zonda. Because either they just totally forgot what they did in the first game, or the implications of Zonda's, character design and usage and characterization are actually, like, really troubling. Hold on, we'll, increase our likelihood of getting Anthem first.
G7 かけらを持っている能力者は全て倒したということ。この奥に。
Okay, so just to be real with you guys, I'm dreading this. Seeing SGV is, to put it politely, not exactly the best character available to us, and Zonda is pretty challenging, like, as they are. This is gonna suck. Right, so let's talk about Zonda's character design and the troubling implications thereof. I know that they kind of entirely ditched the Seven Deadly Sins motif. Yeah, Kyle says GV needs a build and grinding. Copen just presses buttons, but that changes in Ix. So, okay, I don't like the idea of a character being dependent on gear that you craft from randomized materials, or random material draws. Don't like that as much as I like the way Copen plays in this game, but... I know they totally ditched the Seven Deadly Sins boss motif, but... and I hope they just forgot. There obviously are some very disturbing implications to having the true form of the boss associated strongly with lust and, like, perversion and the like. The one you gave a giant thrusting crystal erection in the first game be a small child. Like, either there was, like, a different design team who had no idea what they were working with or what the intent of the original was, or they just forgot, right? Like you wouldn't do something like this on purpose. Cal says they dropped the synth stuff in Ix and I don't like what they replaced it with. I would be okay with almost anything over synth, based off of my experience. It feels a little... I understand why you would put grind in, like, a smaller downloadable game, but I'm not a fan of grind. Oh, right, and we've got to fight this guy again before, Zonda.
パンテーラのセブンスミラーにより作り出されたコピーだ。妹の僕らの望む世界のため妹だ。パンテーラ。そう、血のつながりこそないものだ。僕とパンテーラは同じ時を共に生き同じ泥をすすった孤児同士家族だからこそ死してなお僕は君の前に立ちはだかっている。妹の望みは僕の望み。無能力者という汚れなき世界をなすために瞳僕その命我ら兄弟に捧げろガンボルト。他に守りたい人がいるように。
So yeah, if I'm just exploiting Prevasion, something I've generally tried to avoid in the previous games, I'd use it against, like, projectile attacks and the like. Yeah, we're absolutely right. The GV can actually no-sell just about everything. Except this. Oh, it's my least favorite ult in the game. How in the hell are you supposed to dodge that several times in a row? I guess just learn its timing exactly so you can reverse course as soon as the second AoE appears. What? Really now? This is new to GV's version of this fight, I'm pretty sure. What in the hell was that? Oh, that was intentional. Right, okay, sure, why not? I'll take it.
よかった GV あなたが無事で
Kyle says the synth doesn't exactly matter in the previous Gunvolt games anyway, like Gunvolt doesn't need much. In 2, Gunvolt just needs extra damage. I mean, that's fair. They nerf Pervasion in Ix if that makes you happier. Don't know if it makes me happier, honestly. I like having it as a fallback. You're supposed to die or it becomes impossible to dodge, I gotcha.
能力者のコピーがね
So now we use, obviously since we don't get any stronger throughout the campaign unless we forge stuff, we get to use the power of Anthem to just plow through these guys. And MC says, ah yes, the power of anime music. To be fair, the vocal tracks in this game, or this series, they're not bad. Like, perfectly fine.
海とエデンのためだ。俺の命は泡と消えちまった。俺には仲間がいてくれる。
Ah, we have unlimited charge now, though. Don't you just love it?
まあ、もちろん世界中の海がきれいになるのが一番だ。だがガンボルト、お前さんが俺の
Now, certainly, this won't
俺はこの力を使って
this won't last into Zonda's fight.
こちらのセリフだ。お前たちエデンが無関係な人々に手を出させ。
MC says J-pop is always good, otherwise it's not J-pop. I have to respect the J and K-pop scenes almost universally high production values. Everything they make, even when it's not that catchy, is of phenomenally high, like, technical quality. It's like the best possible form of, like, corporate sellout pop, and I really dig that. Kyle says Indigo Destiny is my favorite song in the entire series. I don't know if we've heard that one yet. We may have, may not have. Right, so with him down... Next will be... Yep. Why is he using the name of Viper albums against me? You Gon Die. Oh, I'm sorry. You Gon Die. Gone is a fairly famous Viper album, known for its remarkably terrible album art, even by Viper standards. So now we can effectively just no-sell him and the fake jewels. Oh, didn't mean to use this, but yeah, sure, why not? Alright. Here comes the fortress. Except with our infinite battery now, this becomes a joke, effectively. Good try, kid. Now only Gibril is left, and with our upgrade, she should be, frankly, a fairly effortless fight. I mean, sure, watch me eat those words in no time, but... The hell? Really? Gunvolt... I don't... GV needs... Somebody needs to write GV some perfectly normal, like, believable relationships to the characters around him. For instance, Copen's an asshole in general, but, like, the dynamic he has with his team is actually really, really enjoyable to read compared to this.
探偵らがいつも抜かしてる愛ってやつ。いや、恋なのかもって。だけど俺は戦うことしか知らねえ。それにあんたと俺は
Yeah, this is nonsense. Let's just get... Oh no. No, we're slipping into Kingdom Hearts levels of coherence. We gotta bring this playthrough to an end quick before every other word just becomes darkness or heart, and for some reason Sephiroth from Final Fantasy is there. If you want to see this kind of concept of like psychotic infatuation explored, I would say more coherently, there's a pretty solid take on it in a, I want to say season 2 episode of the CW's Arrow. It's, I think the name of the episode is Draw Back Your Bow. Inspired by a line from the classic soul song Cupid, performed by Sam Cooke. I'm saying this largely because I want to talk about anything other than what's happening on screen right now. Alright, so all we have to do here is survive. Oh, and we can use our electro field to destroy her swords before they erupt as well. Very nice. Oh, there we go. Cal says, I like Gunvolt and Quinn. We don't see enough of their relationship for me to really make a ruling yet. I will give you it's less creepy than the relationship he has with Jewel or whatever that was. MC says GV is literally anime protagonist. Or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Drusilla is a great character. I've actually never seen Buffy. I've seen plenty of shows inspired by it, but never the program itself. I need to, though. One of my best friends is a die-hard fan, and has been telling me to watch it for ages, and I just haven't gotten around. Alright, let's fight the final boss, a small child with powers I really don't want to think about too much. So Kyle, to your point, I guess it's particularly the forms that they can transform into that make this whole thing a little squicky, and MC says it's an adult that can never grow up. I think, though, we, based on, like, all the dialogue we've seen so far, Zonda is actually, like, a small, like, maybe 10 or 12-year-old child. She's just, or they're just, extraordinarily powerful. It's a concept I actually really like to, explore in, like, universes populated with a lot of metahumans and the like. The concept of very, very small or, like, inexperienced people, so either those who've been raised in isolation, or more often than not, it's like children, having these otherworldly, like, ridiculous powers that could bring an end to the world and having to come to terms with, you know, what's the responsible way to use them or not. If that makes any sense.
そんな姿でふざけているのか。
この姿で君と戦ったことはなかったから。
Again, remember, this is what their desired alternate forms are.
あの時兄上が使ったレプリカと
Now, in Copen's game, this was the hardest fight in the entire run. Like, nothing came close.
フェアリーブレイドに頼らずとも君をほぐるくらいの力はある。
And it looks like it's gonna live up to that reputation here.
そうだとミラークリスにサイバーディーバの力
Like, I mean, we have the power boost from Anthem, and they're still kicking our ass. Oh well, let's just rely on our prevasion. That's kind of what you're supposed to do with GV in this game, I get the impression. Good God, they have a lot of health.
玩具のようにしてお前たちは絶対に許さない。ほとばしアームドブルー映す鏡ごとその巨色を割り砕け。
Ooh, some of this writing. Jeez.
こんなところで終われない。
All right, let's end this if we can. Oh shit. Enjoy.
アームドブルーエクスカリバー。私の愛が。
Cal asks, or says, I wonder if her separate forms or split personalities she controls. I don't know, honestly. That's an interesting, like, scenario to consider.
いや、あれもコピーだった。
Like, if each form of her created through the mirror is a totally autonomous entity operating as, like, a fragment of her larger, like, hive mind. Yeah, that's interesting. And Kyle says, can we get Anthem for our Anthem?
本物はこの奥が。
Well, with that new live service-based Marvel's Avengers game coming out before too long, we will get a whole different kind of Anthem for our viewing pleasure. Speaking of Anthem, anybody remember Anthem? You know, that project that BioWare was forced by EA to dump, like, millions of dollars and years worth of development time into, that was a complete dumpster fire and everybody forgot about inside of a couple of weeks? Almost like it's a really bad idea to take a studio built around making really high-quality, single-player, story-driven RPGs and telling them to make Destiny. Alright, we're going in here fairly low on health and resources. MC says it was also overhyped. And Kyle points out another good point. They were supposed to be revamping it, but it's been dead since. Yeah, they have like an Anthem 2.0 supposed to be going live like late this year or whatever. And it's like, dudes, like Fallout 76, just let this lie. That, and sorry, lots of people have pointed this out. Jim Sterling's gone off on this multiple times, to his credit, I believe. The live service model is the type of game where, due to the constant engagement they require from players, you've always got to be playing, always got to be grinding, always got to do this, that, or the third thing. You can't really play more than one for an extended period of time, and most people, why are they gonna buy a Destiny-like if they're into that kind of game and already have Destiny or already have The Division or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Cal says Fallout isn't dead. No, it's damn close. And it's also been a massive resource sink for Bethesda. MC says Fallout died after 2. I'm actually going to push back on that too. New Vegas was phenomenal. Fallout 3, for the time it was released, was a really good open world like RPG. And Fallout 4 was... it was okay. It wasn't as bad as a lot of people think, but it was not fantastic. Look, if a franchise doesn't die after something like Fallout 76, it's immortal. Yep, so we're going to have to fight Zonda without Anthem. And without our resources, so this is probably going to take us a second attempt. And Kyle hits it right on the head. They say, I don't play live service games. They're basically gacha games or mobile games, but they cost $60+. You're absolutely right. The only one I'm going to pick up, because I'm really fascinated by it, I think it's going to be really bad. Or, no, not really bad, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be kind of boring, but there is a chance, a remote chance, that it's actually... it has a really solid, like, mechanical structure at its core, so I want to explore with you guys on stream, is Marvel's Avengers. Because, like, look, I love the Batman Arkham games. I loved Insomniac's Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to the Miles Morales kind of, like, standalone add-on launching with PS5. And I would love a really solid, not even phenomenal, but solid Avengers game that pulls in a lot of cool characters and settings from the really rich lore that Marvel has to draw from. But I got a feeling it's just gonna be kind of like C-list Destiny. I'm gonna be digging into that one on stream because I'm fascinated. And yeah, this is basically the same exact dialogue we got at the end of Copen's campaign. Well, let's do our best. Okay, so we almost have to use Prevasion for the cards, it looks like. Or some of them. Oh, we've got all of our skill points back. Very nice. Alright, so now she's gonna start drawing on the abilities of her compatriots. Right? Like, there's the chefs. There's, Teseos, I think? And their brothers. And Teseo once again. Gari, maybe? Oh, this is going to be clutch. Oh, we can heal again. Lovely. Let's whittle her down to phase 3, if we can. Jeez, she has a lot of health. Didn't really notice it playing as Copen, but, yeah. Going to get her down to phase 3 and then just let loose with Luxcalibur. I will say this though, they're way, way easier to manage like this than they were in their first phase. Just more cards, right? We can take that. That's why this is taking so long, the damn shield. And I want to say they've been keeping it, or they've been reactivating it more often than they did. Oh, damn, yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, they do have an Outer Worlds DLC coming out. So MC, I will tell you, I've played the base game for Outer Worlds, and for what it is, like a reasonably sized, content-rich, like Obsidian RPG with really, really solid choices that are better than just black or white, good or bad, and have all the complexity you'd expect from that studio, it's really solid. Kyle says, just be glad you're playing this on PS4, not 3DS. I think he had to sing during this boss. Oh, that does sound horrible. I will say, I think Outer Worlds is absolutely phenomenal and well worth your time and energy if you guys can, or feeling tempted to check it out. I could always stream it at some point. I do have it on PS4. Oh, thanks, MC. I appreciate it. But having to sing during something like this would be a nightmare. So I think she just sticks to the cards in Phase 1. Wait a minute, there's a much easier way of doing this. Hold on. Well, wait. Technos might be a better bet. Well, no, because that requires us to be just as precise. Orochi it is. And she says, I want to hear Brady sing anime. If there's a fitting time and there's a song I actually know, sure, why not? If I ever play one of the Yakuza games, you can bet your ass I'm performing Bakamitai. It would be an absolute sin not to. Okay, so they, like, those pillars extend all the way across the screen at the tail end of the attack. Yeah, there we go. And I was right, Orochi is an excellent pick for this, for final bosses in general, I guess. Ow, every time. Probably just best to use Prevasion for that. Yeah, right like so. There we go. Oh, so close. So close. Come on. There we go. Right, now she's going to call in the entire family. Or, they are, sorry. Right, that could have gone worse. And the shield, right off the bat, once again. Come on, all we need is... Yeah, there we go. Goodbye. Now we can finish this with ease. Whew, okay. Now all that's left is the, like, final stages. Sorry about the neighbor's dog, if you can hear it. It's been really rowdy these past few days. I guess it... Well, animals are having a difficult time being all cooped up as well. Hal says, Bork, story of my life the past week or so. So... Right, now that Zonda's gone, we've got one final boss. And I'm hoping I can unlock the DLC stages just by fighting it with either character, because if I can, I'm definitely going all in for Copen. MC says, Bork, this is Bork's stream now. My past several streams have effectively been unintentional Bork streams beyond a certain point. This poor girl. Maybe I can... It's no use. She's gone. We dragged her into our war and she paid the price. Oh, I see where this is going. Yeah. Is this really what we're going to end the game on? Like, just another duel fight? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, duels against characters with similar movesets and abilities as your own avatar can be a lot of fun. Just look at, like, how Devil May Cry tended to handle them. Like, especially with... I know it's like a stereo, or like a classical, archetypical example, but like the fights against Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 are so good. So good! Because he can do so many of the same things that you can. And similarly, the fights against, say, Riku in Hollow Bastion toward the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 bring to mind a very similar kind of atmosphere for me. But this is a final boss? Oh, credit sequence, but now we unlock the true ending, right? MC says, barking to the wrong tree, Copen. If only. So now, I believe we've got to go through and play the final stage one more time? So close. Choice of character here was not a choice at all. Yeah, Kyle says Copen's is easier. Well, that, and it allows me to play as my favorite character again. Okay, let's, well, hold on, do we have... Let's check our loadout really quickly. Yeah, we got what we need. Just use water. I have a different go-to weapon. Don't worry. We got this. Oh, but damn it, first I'm going to have to remember how to play as Copen. Oh wait! No, we are gonna want water if the final fight is what I'm terribly, horribly afraid it is. Oh, Copen, I've missed this playstyle, buddy. Hot damn, you're even faster. No, didn't mean to do that. Wrong button. That's fine. Not like we're gonna need it. Right. We've seen this. Oh, locking on feels so satisfying. Seriously, just look at this damage output. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, I'm not necessarily great with Copen, but I am much better with him. The trade-off is, though, you're playing as an incorrigible asshole. Every time, I have never once managed to dodge that successfully across both playthroughs. Oh, good, and he's going to do it again. Right on. No, he's not. Kyle says in Gunvolt 2 I always craft one extra bullet depending on my build for Copen, but you haven't been grinding and doing challenges, so you're set either way. Yeah, we should be fine. We just gotta fight through the mirror bosses, starting with... Is Chef down here? No, the goddess is. Right. God, he's so strong. I love it. Alright. Oh, Desna's weak to Azurok's weapon? Excellent. Never knew that. Ooh. Didn't recharge in time, of course. That's fine, it's fine. Dead. Cal says, I think the logic is it binds her hair. I gotcha. Weird, I would think something like Gibril's weapon, or, Tianjin's to, like, sever her hair would actually be more effective. But interesting, either way. Alright. Let's see how you like a taste of your own medicine. Come on, stay locked on to the actual boss.
主人に似てコールさえ消え制作者の品が知れるな。
Oh right, this attack. AKA the only time he ever actually uses his weapon. Oh. Almost got it.
時間だ。アミューズブーチ最終工程に。アウト。と逃げ惑え。3仕上げだ。元に戻れ。
Got him. Cal says Gabriel's weapon should be super effective against everyone, but it's not. The wiki specifically says it's effective against humanoids, but the bosses don't count, but that's really weird actually, because not only are they humanoid, it's made explicitly clear that metahuman or not, they are still fundamentally human. I guess they mean like, the Eden foot soldiers. For some reason, his voice reminds me, or his affectations as well, remind me of one of the move trainers from Yakuza 0. These really energetic breakdancer, or a really energetic breakdancer who teaches Goro Majima his crowd control style. Alright, up your slam time, I guess. And look how easily Copen is able to destroy them. That is just a good character right there. And I'm playing like shit. Kyle says they couldn't do it that way because one person beats all variety, etc. Right. And MC says Gabriel's weapon is super effective against Copen. Really? It's interesting. Oh, right, because he's like supposed to be a quote-unquote pure human, right? And MC asks, during your Yakuza 0, did you protect Majima Bridge, or did you push off as many enemies as possible off the bridge? Oh, definitely. Yeah, plenty of people were thrown into the water. Or, basically, anytime I could throw an enemy off of a roof or over a railing, at any time I would. It was just... I mean, they wouldn't put it there if they didn't want you to make use of it, and it'd be kind of rude not to, right? MC asked, did you push as many enemies as possible? Or no, Kyle says a revolver versus a pistol. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, time for the hardest fight in the game. It is going to be interesting to see how Copen is going to balance out his desire to protect his sister with no doubt his newfound desire to exterminate her for being a metahuman in the next game. I think maybe that's actually the intended, like, penalty or, like, cost they want to impose along with playing Copen. Like, you get to play a way more diverse, powerful, and mobile character than Gunvolt. Honestly, from a design perspective, I would say objectively superior. But the trade-off is that character, the character themselves, is horrible. Oh, right. Even our D-pad controls are reversed. Come on now. Nope. Screw it. If I can't aim, I don't need to. There we go. Thanks, MC. That's the hardest fight in the game, in my humble opinion, down pat. Now we just need to take down the goddess, and then I guess just use water to constantly short out GV, and we've technically beaten the game? I mean, yes, then we have to defeat Copen as GV, which, or technically we do anyway. I think it's also quite telling that, like, for the final boss rush, GV had to be more or less in permanent Anthem mode to stand a decent chance. But Copen receives no power-ups whatsoever. He just gets to go about business as usual and is wrecking the place. Oh yeah, we're dead. We can't heal like this, right? Don't think so. Oh wait, we can. Good. Okay. We had like a full heal in stock, so yeah, why not use it? I actually really like her ult. It's not ridiculously overpowered, and it's nice to see that, again, for a fairly sympathetic villain, her ultimate power, what she wants to do with this newfound, like, ability to reshape reality, I'm sorry, what they want to do is to, just bring their family back. No ridiculous tricks or traps, they just want to fight and work alongside like all of their brothers and sisters, which is really sweet in a way, and is a great way to communicate character through mechanical design. Cal says they're two separate true endings, so yeah, excellent. Love the hair. I really like that hairdo. Let's see, what do we got? Completed a challenge. Excellent. Sure. Here we go. Prayer. The dragon's fangs clash with the tiger's claws. For whom do the voices at the heart of this paradise sing their dirge? Kyle says, girl exploding. Love her hair. Well, it was the only time I really got... Or it was the first chance I've had this stream to appreciate, like, the actual character design there, because there's so many crazy effects going on during the fight. The hair is glorious, okay? I'm the son of a cosmetologist. And seeing this glorious updo that's extending back behind the character for about 10 feet is... it's a thing of wonder. I held Middle next to me. She was cold. Still. Lifeless. Gone. She was always so weak, but I still didn't.
くそなぜだなぜお前がアキラ君能力者とは何だセブンスとは何なんだ
Again, we've gone into this just about every time I've had to address Copen's character as it's presented to us. Adepts did not do this. The Sumeragi Corporation, attempting to abuse them across generations, did this.
神よ答えてくれ
But I guess, like,
なぜ
kicking some, like, middle-aged accountant's ass instead of a bunch of superpowered, like, young adults isn't quite as compelling game design.
アキラその子ガンボルト貴様がサイバーディーバを解き放たなければミチルは死ぬことはなかったアキラ一体何が神へ祈る間もなくここで死ねガンボルト
Yeah, no, I noticed that too. He's always called Akira. Akira is his actual name, and for whatever reason, his and I think a couple of the other characters' names were changed. Again, don't really know why. Hold on, let me remember which. There we go. Sorry, GV. Actually, I'm not sorry. You kinda suck compared to our current character. Well, to play as, anyway. I can just constantly drain his electrical field. That is adorable. Oh wow, this is So Kyle, thanks for that tip regarding the water weapon. It's this is ridiculous. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god. Keep trying, GV. Bullshit. I'm sorry. MC says, Kamizono Akira. That is Copen's real name, and Copen is the English translation. Kyle says, I'm just here waiting. Oh, it's not over. Of course it's not. What? So either he's going to go into Anthem, or we're going to have to fight her? The hell? Oh no, sorry. Instead our little sister is giving all she can to ensure that this man kills us. Great song. Oh, he can use all of his attacks from the jump now, like all of his super attacks, without telegraphing them too. Okay, that's That is Voltaic Chains. That was, oh, what's his ass? Asimov's, special from the original. Ooh, Lord. There we are. Kyle says this is why the fight is so hard for Gunvolt. No, because instead of having to fight what is effectively like Gunvolt at full strength, so you know, a capable opponent, you have to fight Copen, who is already a much stronger character by default, with his power increased beyond what it normally, even like in the case of the story, or over the course of the story, is supposed to be. And MC says, eat water, you electric degenerate. That is great. And Kyle says both characters get infinite prevasion. Yeah, oof. That'd be rough. I really appreciate the tip about the water. I mean, no doubt we would have figured it out in some time, but it's kind of nice to see, like, the actual final boss, especially after Asimov from the first game, who was, you know, reasonably, like, pretty tough. Just get steamrolled like that, when I have no idea what I'm doing, either. I'm just mashing buttons. Oh, this is pretty good, actually. Like, Copen's going to get called out for his behavior by, like, the only person in the world he actually cares about. That's a seed of potential character development. Kyle says the only way to get rid of the prevasion for Gunvolt is to electrocute Copen with the sphere itself, because you can't tag him while it's up. Oh god, it's basically, stage 1 Nova on crack. They examined Middle for days and found nothing wrong. In fact, she was healthier than she'd ever been. This is just a theory, but when I defeated Zonda, it may have freed the power of the Muse from the shards. But instead of going to Gunvolt, they went to Middle. Like I said, just a theory. Yeah, no. Anyway, my sister is back to who she was meant to be. An adept. Oh, and he gets like the most stereotypically anime character ending imaginable. Even though he now realizes that this ridiculous prejudice that's been fueling him this entire time is A, completely unfounded, and B, applicable to one of his relatives as well, so like his entire reason for hating the adept specifically is completely invalid at this point. He's still going to go on to try to kill as many of them as he can for no reason, because we needed some kind of hook for a sequel. At least, at the very least, he seems to realize that he's been an absolutely terrible person this entire time. Adepts would destroy humanity and must be destroyed in return. He's not learned a damn thing. But what about middle? Yeah.
行くぞ。
待ってよ、アキラ君。
Right, so I guess that was Azure Striker Gunvolt 2 properly. And it's the like post-game content, the special stage you get one final fight against your rival. It's cool, I guess. Like it's a nice little touch. It's not as interesting, it's not as compelling as the final boss fight against Asimov in the first game. Just because it's a tougher variation of something we've already done before, whereas his fight was completely new. And the closest thing to like a real rival fight you got to experience in that game, because Copen, despite appearing several times, had a really different moveset and kind of feel than Gunvolt did. Kyle says that's why the final boss is so hard. As Gunvolt, you have to stay next to a man that can dash tag you till he dies. Yeah, oof, that sounds rough. Also, tell my aunt I died. Yeah, he's... Again, as a character, I hate Copen. I absolutely hate him. More than I think I'm supposed to. But as, like, an avatar, as, like, a part of this gameplay chassis, he's incredible. MC says, good person turned evil, knows that they're evil, they just cease caring about themselves. We kind of get the sense, and I could be wrong, feel free to call me out if you've, like, kind of intuited differently, that Copen wasn't a very good person to begin with, and has just been venting a phenomenal amount of kind of directionless anger at, like, the first semi-appropriate target he could find, which was, hey, all of these remarkably powerful superhumans that may kind of maybe have killed one of my relatives, I think my father, instead of the mega corporation who owns the entire country and were directly responsible for my father's death, right down to we have first-hand proof that they ordered it. GV, on the other hand, is a likable person. He's like pretty good as a character in this kind of like vaguely shonen anime style game series goes. But the problem I have with him and his plots deal principally with the fact that almost all of his interactions with his mission control and his muse and all of that are just the way they're written. They're kind of skeevy, like in a way that I really don't appreciate, especially when that seems to be his interaction with all the characters around him save his enemies. Also, GV, again, more likable character, but his gameplay is relatively... Now that I've gotten to learn Copen, especially, it's nowhere near as engaging. For me, I think there's a lot of people who would really prefer Gunvolt's playstyle, especially since if you kept grinding these stages, especially as GV, you could craft better, more nuanced gear and unlock more skills and really customize that character to get them to be the way largely you want them to. And MC has it right. They say, oh yeah, that's correct. I'm just saying Copen is probably someone who's not morally bankrupt because he knows he's wrong. Yes, absolutely. At this point, I would be surprised if over the next couple of games, and we'll see, starting Copen's solo adventure tomorrow, really excited for that, it seems like he's just going to be this kind of rogue death-seeking character, which is fine as long as he doesn't actually meet his death, because I absolutely adore his gameplay. Kyle says they've changed Gunvolt for 3 probably for that reason. Good to hear that Gunvolt's gameplay is being overhauled just a little, because right now, at least for me, it feels like there's such a disparity in power between the two characters, and I don't feel like Copen needs to be nerfed at all. It's like Gunvolt just needs to be made a little bit I would say ever so slightly stronger, but also considerably more mobile. I really appreciate the increased mobility. And Kyle says, I feel Gunvolt's ending is better because Copen just leaves like Batman. Well, Copen, despite being the protagonist you're kind of pushed to pick first, I think, has a significantly less fleshed out storyline. His cast is slightly thinner than GV's, and his interactions with them are also kind of few and far between. But again, the interactions he has with his team are, I would argue, far and away better written and presented than GV's are. Cal says, I'm hoping the footage they showed for 3 is beta footage, because it looks like both characters don't do damage. I've not seen any of 3 yet, none of like the trailers or anything like that, and I want to go in completely blind. That's not the best sign, but I'm sure plenty of things will be balanced at or around launch, no matter what. I finally stopped dreaming about him. I used to have the same dream over and over. I still don't know his name, only that he fought for me. But I think I know why I'm not dreaming anymore. It's because I feel happy. I hope I see him again, just one more time. MC says, makes you wonder, Gunvolt's script is really bad, as if he's a child in a way. So, it almost seems to me like the two storylines... Tell me what you guys think. I know they weren't, probably. But it feels like the two casts of characters, especially like the interactions between protagonists and like their support teams, were written by entirely different dev teams. And yeah, Kyle says there's only a reveal trailer. Yeah, it's coming out soon though. I hope the same happiness finds him. Like a child playing with powers too strong for them. Well, yeah, we get the sense, and it's outright confirmed for us, like, some of the antagonists, Gabriel, Merak, Tessio, they are children. Zonda is a small child. Now we've unlocked runner modes. What on earth are these? Oh, I see. So, hold on. Let me start up Copen's campaign real quick. Just to see something. Cal says, I don't know about soon. I thought it only said now in development. Oh, yeah. Yep, there's these. Secret missions that I want to say bring back bosses from the first game. So I tell you what we'll do. Tomorrow, because today's streams run just a little long, tomorrow we will take on all 5 of these secret missions as Copen, and then dive into his solo game. MC says, what if Copen hates power-playing children and wants to get rid of adepts because they're a threat? So either a different story, writing team, or deeper meaning from one team. Maybe. That's an interesting thing to think about. Cal says Gunvolt is just X-Men. I said, yeah, it really... Well, so many shonen anime are, really, which is great. Everybody loves superpowers and really, like, visually distinct characters and abilities and all that, so... at any rate, that is going to conclude today's stream. Thank you all so much for joining me, both for Gunvolt's campaign and for one of the true endings to Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. It's an absolutely phenomenal title, and I hope you will join me tomorrow from probably 2 to 5 p.m. We'll go back to our, like, slightly earlier afternoon slot, to take on these secret missions. I know at least 2 bosses from the first game return, for these, and I don't know, it's entirely possible all 5 secret missions reuse fights from the first game. So just to make sure we get new experience no matter what, and because I prefer his gameplay, we're going to play through these as Copen at the start of tomorrow's stream, and then dive into Luminous Avenger X, his special solo adventure that I bought just this afternoon. Until next time, thank you all so much for joining us, whether you've been here active in chat or just present in the audience on twitch.tv, or you're catching this after the fact as a VOD on YouTube. I want you to know how much I appreciate you spending your time with us this afternoon. Please feel free to join our Discord community if you'd like to stay up to date on streaming announcements and VODs and things like that, and as well as take part in a community that is exceedingly welcoming, positive, and always down to have a good time discussing games and other popular media. A permanent link to that community can be found at the bottom of my Twitch page's description. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.